back to this 1989 420 Mercedes with 32,000 miles on it. So this was the one in the short quick video just before this about the hydrocarbons. Somebody put pure propane in here before, but this is being shipped back to Germany. So this German car that came to America all these years is heading home, and over there they don't allow the old R12 in the system, so they actually requested that this be switched back over to 134. So but they're not going to go through all the procedures what you should go through, and that one of my requirements I try to get everyone to do, at least change the receiver dryer every time you do. It's an old car. Even if you were going to keep this R12, I would tell you to change the receiver dryer so you get brand new desiccant material in there. But surprisingly, this system was very dry too. Sight glass, little cloudy, and that's because somebody put propane in there and it ran low. And so one of the things you look at is the high side discharge port. Now let me see if I could zoom in on this so you can see it, and it's getting dark out here. I'll put it on white, and then I'll try to use the zoom feature. Now right there at the very tip, that is brass, and that brass is supposed to be a nice bright golden color, and you see it's kind of a grayish color. You see the chrome color above it, but when you look at the brass, it's not so brass. That's from burning. That's from overheating. That's what happens when your compressor runs dry on a refrigerant. So unfortunately, this compressor ran a little bit on the hot side because it ran low on refrigerant twice. Probably the first initial time, and then when they were trying to make the SEL, they pumped it up with hydrocarbons at some time in its life, propane. And then I took my analyzer and found it today. So propane you could bleed out into the air. It's just a hydrocarbon. It's not a refrigerant. It's an excellent refrigerant, but it's not one of those controlled ones. It's what you use when you barbecue. So I did that, and I put an oil in there that is not normally used in automotive. What I know works better than what's sold in the automotive for this vehicle. And it's something I discovered back in around 1990 when the first R12, the R134 vehicles were starting to come out. And so that's what went in here. This is a drop-in, where you drop in oil, not the correct method. When you drop in oil on top of the existing mineral oil. So you need a really good oil that was meant to drop in, and there is one in the commercial, and it was around back then, and I'm using it today, and it works absolutely excellent. You could get 250,000 miles out of your compressor if it was never damaged with this drop-in type. I just wish they can change this, because I always like a nice clean desiccant material in there to keep the system nice and moist. I mean, nice and dry. And a brand new filter. But as you can see here, yeah, we're down to 146 microns. That's what I love about these old Mercedes that usually nobody never touched, but somebody dropped in propane in this one. I could bring them down. I think when I put the vacuum pump on here, within 90 seconds I was already down to 320 microns. Try to do that on one of the cars today with ester or peg oil, especially after it's been in a body shop with the lines hanging in the air. You ain't gonna do that in 90 seconds. But other than that, this is a very nice car, and like I said, only 32,000 miles on it, original. And I bet you Kelly Blue Book on this thing is probably not even $1,500, but I bet you they sold it for 40 to 60,000, and it's worth every penny of it. Look at it. This is like the only scratch on the thing. Oh, somebody dinked it there a little bit, but this thing is immaculate. To get a brand new Mercedes of this vintage model year with this low miles in this good of shape, and that's a requirement. Have to put 134 in it, not R12, because it's going back to Germany, and the EU has strict rules like Australia. When I ship cars for companies who are going to ship American cars back to Australia, if they had R12 in them, I have to pull out the R12 and either ship them over empty or retrofit them over to 134. So we'll be filling this up, and don't know if I'll be able to make a video again on the finished product, but I'll see if I can, because as usual I'm falling behind schedule.